day, everyone. LaSharie Rogers here from Matters of the Heart. So excited to be back in front of the camera. So excited to be back and sharing my heart and sharing what it is that God has given me with you all. I know it's been a while, but trust me, it has been well worth it. God has just been doing some great things with my family and myself, expanding our territory. So although I have been a little distant, but do know that I have been preparing so much for this time and just really want to get on the topic of brokenness and be able to just share what God has shown me and even the process in which God has been taking me in this area of brokenness. So I'm excited about this time, excited to be back. Yay! I hope you all had an opportunity to go and read the blog that was just released, I want to say last month. This month, Broken on Purpose, which just really is an introduction to where I'm going and where the direction I'm going as it pertains to brokenness, and basically just what has been revealed to me through even the time in which God has been working on me in my area of brokenness as well. So I pray that you all have had an opportunity to get a chance to read that, and if you had not, you are more than welcome to visit my website, themattersoftheheart12.com, and you will not only will you get an opportunity to read the recent blog, but then there are also the other blogs that I have there that I have released in the past, and this kind of all leads up to this area of brokenness, which again I am so excited about. And the reason why I'm excited about this topic, because I believe sometimes we have such, and I know for myself, and again, I want to definitely speak, and I am speaking from an area of a personal area, but then at the same time just doing studies and reading and research. But so often we have a tendency to or lack the understanding of what brokenness really is. I had an opportunity, I was speaking to a gentleman at one time and just kind of talking to him about my blog, and he was asking me some questions about the blog, and basically, he said, well, I said, we're going to eventually talk about brokenness in men. And he's like, well, what is that? Basically, I don't have an understanding of what do you mean by broken. And I just kind of share some information with him, and he goes, wow, I think I'm broken. And we laughed and we chuckled a little bit about it, but I think we have a lot of people that are in that area. I myself was in that area. We have a tendency to believe if I'm successful and I'm intelligent and I have degrees to back up my intelligence and my knowledge and my understanding, it's impossible. I can't be broken. I'm too knowledgeable to be in a place of brokenness, or I'm too successful to be considered a person that's not complete. But contrary to what many believe, there's a lot of hidden brokenness, and we're the brokenness, and even in finding and understanding, and even our success. So the goal is just not to be successful. The goal is to be successful in God, and the way of being successful in God and being able to fulfill our purpose and reaching our destiny is having an understanding of being whole. Because we can be successful all day, but if we're not, our success is not geared or is not attached to our purpose and our destiny, we're just doing busy work. So the goal is let's get to the place of wholeness. Let's get to the place where God is really working in us and through us, and really getting to the place of understanding of what our purpose is. Are we just being busy, or are we really in the place where we are doing and we are fulfilling the purpose that God has ordained for our life? So let's get into it, and I'm extremely confident that as people gain the knowledge and understanding of brokenness and begin to examine and to assess their lives and assess their behaviors and assess their way of thinking, assess their relationships, and as we begin to pull these things apart, that we will see God in even that broken place, even that place of, okay, you know what? I didn't even realize I was broken here. I thought I was good in this area. I'm working and I'm successful at what it is that I'm doing, but yet sometimes our ambition is tied up into our brokenness. Sometimes we are busy making things happen, and it's because of a broken place in our lives that we feel so. We got to drive. We got to be driven. I got to make this happen. I got to succeed at this. I can't. And not even realizing that a lot of that is attached to an area in our lives that we have not addressed, that has been broken, that has been an area that we have not acknowledged as a place that, you know what, I need healing here. So don't allow the enemy to trick you up in the amount of success that you have, or, you know, the amount of degrees that you have, and the amount of, sometimes we still even have to pause, even in those places. And it is not to say that you're not successful. And I think sometimes when we, you know, a lot of people shy away from the whole term of being broken, because it kind of makes it seems as if something is wrong. And hey, that just may even be the case. If something is wrong, the goal is to make it right. And how much better it is to align ourselves with the purpose of God, align ourselves with the understanding of God, and allow Him to take that brokenness and make it into something beautiful. And I actually have my little mosaic apple here. And I utilized the heart shape as an image for this last blog, but it really took a real good look at even just the mosaic design. And we'll talk a lot about it, you know, in this video blog, but I'll talk a lot about it more in my next video blog. But just the broken pieces and how this broken piece becomes such, which I kind of in my last Facebook post, becomes a master's piece. And how many of you just want to be a master's piece? You just want to be whole and full and glad and joy and have the joy of the Lord, and still walk in your success, still walk in your design, purpose, and destiny with, you know, complete and whole. So let's get into some of what we discussed even in the blog. And I wanted to start here, and I have my notes here. I don't know if you can see it, but I do have my notes here, and also a copy of my blog. So I will definitely be kind of just addressing some of which I, wrote in the blog. But I first wanted to start, because again, this is Brokenness 101, and I will be on this topic, on this subject for a while, because I think it's important that we really have a true understanding of brokenness. We will also hear from others, and even when I get into the area of brokenness in men, of course, I'm gonna stay in my lane. So I've invited some of my strong brothers, my friends, those who have a great understanding of being broken, and how God had to work through their lives to even bring them to a place of understanding and healing even in those places. So I think once I get everyone together, and we just all come together and work as a team to bring greater knowledge to this area of brokenness. So brokenness, a word with many definitions. And when I looked up the word and just begin to just kind of research, brokenness is just that, something that's broken. But we also have meanings as indicated: forcibly separated into two or more pieces, having been violated, incomplete, weakened, and infirm. And finally, and I noted that this was one of my favorite, not functioning, out of order. Again, all these different definitions that kind of bring us back to the word of brokenness. And as we assess, can we even apply or think of some things that in our lives that have been forcibly separated into two or more pieces, whether that be our personal lives, whether that be our marriage, whether that be relationships, personal relationships, and even relationships with friends? How often can we say that we notice that there is some, breaking or separation in our relationships with our friends, whether it's your girlfriends or your guy friends or your cool friends, but even in our marriage? Someone said to me, a broken woman with a broken man creates a broken marriage. And as much, again, as I had an understanding of brokenness, hearing that was like, wow, that's deep. So when you have two broken people, how do you expect to have a complete marriage? So that was just very profound. And I know some of you are saying, like, Alashri, that just makes a lot of sense. But once again, when that's not something that you examine on a regular basis, or a term that you're not, looking to kind of go deeper in, it's new. It sounds new. Or better yet, let me say it this way. When it's not something that you yourself kind of apply to yourself, like you can be like, okay, yeah, that's broken, they're broken. But when you have to now turn and look inwardly, sometimes it's like, wow, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So again, just want to be able to get everybody to the place of acknowledging, of knowledge, and a greater understanding of brokenness and how it affects and how it can affect and how it can keep you from being in full force or being in a full alignment with God's purpose and getting you to your destiny. So we have our meanings. So we have our several different meanings, which we just kind of went over. So one of the things I also wanted to discuss, and again, I want to keep this as short as possible. I want everybody to be able to review and listen attentively. And I know sometimes when you go over or the time is too long, you kind of lose people. So I will be doing short segments, probably weekly segments on this topic up until we are at our area of completion. So, acknowledging. I personally feel that one of the best ways to get to that place of understanding and brokenness, and once you kind of see what it means, and once you've assessed and said to yourself, you know what, I want to dig a little deeper. Are there some areas in my life that I would like to work on, or I think I may need to work on, and start assessing your relationships and start assessing look at your work habits and look at some of the things you say and you do. And you know what? There's some things I want to re-examine about myself. There's some things I want to re-examine about my relationship. And one of the things we want to do is come to that place of acknowledgement. And that place of acknowledgement simply means the act of admitting the existence or truth of something. We're just admitting it. You know what? I'm broken in this area. And sometimes it takes other people. So see, the people that we have around us are so important. And I know we have our girlfriends and we have those people that we have around us, and we're so connected and we're so used to those connections. But are the people around you helping you to get to your purpose, to get to helping you reach your destiny? That's important. You want that friend or you want that connection that's going to tell you, hey, I noticed this. How are you doing in this area? Have you assessed this area? So acknowledgement not only comes from us, sometimes it comes from those we have connected to us. But then we also have to be in that place of being able to be receptive and being in the place of being in the place of understanding and being in the place to receive when God is sending people to us to help us to grow and to get better. So as we, again, getting to this area of brokenness, acknowledgement is important. Because once you acknowledge it, once you are in a place of saying, you know what, I think this is where I am. I would love to have greater understanding of where I am. God, help me to see what more do I need to do so this way I can function. Because remember, brokenness is not functioning. Even though we are functioning in our area of business and we may be functioning in certain relationships, but there's somewhere along the line where there's a dysfunction. There can be a disconnect that are causing us not to even be able to go higher in the place where God is calling us to be, because one, we fear certain things. Our trust levels are at a level. Why? Because we've been broken in this area before. So you know what? I will no longer go to this place or walk in this area because of my brokenness. And also one of the things for myself is not even realizing the things from the past, having to kind of go back to my childhood. Because see, the enemy is cunning. He doesn't just start the week of, or okay, she's learning her purpose, she's seeing some things, so let me just start sending my little fiery darts. But the enemy starts generational curses. We have things that happen to us or things that we are exposed to as children, as in our youth, that has a tendency to put a block up where it has caused a breakage which stifles our growth. And what we do is we just continue to move past it. And you know what? Because it doesn't hurt anymore, because we don't feel the pain of it anymore, we just assume that thing is gone. But see, what happens is it'll begin to cause you to make reactions or cause you to make choices and do things that you don't even understand why you're making it. You don't even understand why you're doing it. You don't even understand, okay, why is it that I can't maintain a healthy relationship? Why is it that I fear going to the next level? Or why is it that here it is, this great position is available, I'm well qualified, but I won't take it because I feel like I'm not worthy of it? Different areas in our lives, and these are just some examples, and I'm sure there are plenty more examples of the things that we do and what I like to call self-sabotage at times. We sabotage our own growth, our own growing process. Why? Because we're broken. And we have not acknowledged why we make the choices that we have, because we're still in that place of feeling like, you know what, I'm good. I'm walking, I'm making money. I may not be making money. I'm happy. I may not be happy, but examining those areas of our life to really get an understanding. Am I truly walking in my full purpose of God? Is there some breakage that has either occurred in my past? Are there some things that I'm repeating from my parents' parents? Are there some things that I have not allowed or let go? And as we just, as you assess, and as we continue to walk through this path, just kind of start asking yourself these questions. Are these some of the things that I just need to really focus on or think about a little bit more? So again, acknowledgement, admitting the existence of truth of something. I'm sorry, let me repeat that. The act of admitting the existence or truth of something. It was said, the truth shall set you free. So understanding the truth and the freedom in knowing your truth, not my truth, your truth, understanding what your truth is, understanding what is true for you, what can, or what is it about you that you feel has got you to the place of not truly understanding or not walking in alignment with God. Sometimes even in acknowledging, it's difficult. It's difficult in getting into that place of acknowledgement. Why? Because sometimes our brokenness becomes our normal. It becomes our normal. We start using phrases like, this is who I am. I'm an introvert. I'm an extrovert. We start giving it names. We start using terminology from, mental health terminology to describe the place that we're in. And some of the times it's not necessarily who you are. It's not necessarily these, being an introvert or being an extrovert, or, you have some that say, oh, well, I just love women. I just love men. But if you go a little bit deeper, why? Why are these things existing in your life? Why do you feel, well, this is who I am, take it or leave it? Is there a possibility that there may be some area for change or renewing of the mind to get you to a place where you wouldn't have to accept your dysfunction, or can I call it that, or the area in which you're broken in, but kind of seeking it out, assessing it, acknowledging it, and trying to make the necessary changes to become better? Because that very thing that you just assume is who you are or what makes you who you are. Yes, we all have characteristics. Yes, we all have habits, and yes, we all have things that we do that makes us who we are. Because why? We are made in the image. God has created all of us to be different. But there's also things that we take on ourselves. There's also things that we create as a norm for ourselves that God is saying, no, that's not me. I didn't create that for you. That's not the person who I want you to be. That's not the path that I expect you to walk in. That's not the characteristic that I was praying and hoping that you would take on. But there's more for you. There's greater for you. There's another level that I'm trying to take you. But because you have come so accustomed to the norm in which you have created for yourself based on the things that you have experienced, based on your brokenness, I can't go higher with you. I need you to be whole and complete in me. That's what I hear. I need you to be whole and complete. And until we get to that place, we're going to always have a struggle with that God-given purpose, with reaching our destiny, because we're fighting back. And we continue in the struggle with our brokenness. We continue in the struggle, pulling back and forth. Why? Because we have not acknowledged that we're broken. So we're accepting our norm, and God is saying, I need you to come up. And we're saying, no, this is who I am. And we're trying to work within the realm of who we believe that we are or we're supposed to be. And God is saying, no, I need you to come up. So as we continue to struggle, but how great is it to know that if we step into full acknowledgement, knowledge, knowing, and understanding, hey, there is a level here that why am I struggling to get to this level? Why am I having such a problem getting to the next place? Because you haven't acknowledged your brokenness. You haven't acknowledged that there is something that's keeping you from getting to that next place. And the more you continue to just struggle, the more I struggled, the more I pulled. I can just constantly see, yes, I had areas where I was very successful, areas where things was working and going great, but it was, for some reason, there was just still another level that I felt like I just could not obtain. And even in my way of thinking and in the way of processing, there was something that just needed to be changed. I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand certain things about myself. And it took me going back. It took me digging down. It took me pulling apart to say, you know what? Wow. That's what they said, that woosah moment. Having that woosah moment, like woosah. Like, wow, okay, God, this is what you needed me to know. This is what you needed me to acknowledge, so I can now in turn give it to you, my creator, my maker, and now help to take that area of brokenness in my life and help me to apply it to my purpose. And help me to get to the place where I can now in turn impart it to others and say, hey, you want to acknowledge this area of your life. Why? Because it may be holding you back from getting to the place where God is trying to get you. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to start bringing it in just a little bit more. But as we know, brokenness. Again, I'm so confident in understanding this, and having an understanding of this will definitely help to get a change of mindset, get a change in the thought process, at least get to the place of assessing and acknowledging and processing how, God, is there anything I need to? And hey, if you feel like there's nothing there, or I've assessed and I'm good with God, then let's go. Let's make it happen. Let's start walking in our purpose. Let's start walking towards into our God-given destiny and purpose, because that's what it's all about. So again, I encourage you, if you had not set out or took some time to read the blog, please take some time. themattersoftheheart12.com. Please continue to connect and to log in and to watch. I will be posting out part 2 of this, where we'll actually be talking about surrendering, the surrendering process. Now that we've acknowledged, how do we now surrender? How do we now take what we've acknowledged, take what we've been given, take what we've identified, and now surrender, and to bring all of that under subjection up to God. Okay, let's say it that way. How do we now take these things and give it to God so that He can now create the master's piece, that we can become that thing that God has called us, or we are destined to become. So again, we've acknowledged today. So I challenge you all on this week, or for the rest of the week or the weekend, and over time, to just assess, process. Just go through some of your own habits, or things that you may have a little bit of questions about, or just assess your progress. Is there areas in your life that you may think that you want to change? Can it be that there's an area in your life that is broken, that may need attention, that may need God's attention? Is there an area in your life that you may just want to just assess, or a little bit more to kind of give it to God, and to pray about the situation, or pray about what it is that you're feeling, or what it is that you're thinking? Because again, God needs us to be complete in Him, whole in Him. And we'll talk about what's being complete and what does it mean to be whole. And because again, if we're just all perfect vessels, then God can't do a work in us. So we have to understand that there has to be room for God to do His work. We have to allow that time, but we also have to come to the point of acknowledging that this is something that needs to be done. So again, thank you for checking in. I appreciate your time, and I pray again, if you have any comments or any questions or any thoughts that you would like to share, you can visit the website and leave your comments there, or you can also email at mattersoftheheart12@aol.com, and I would love to hear from you. Again, LaSharie Rogers from Matters of the Heart, and hope to see you soon. Have a blessed day.